gosh, that must be really fun. People must really love that.
So welcome to Miami. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing really well, thank you.
The film, I enjoy so much the rhythm.
Yes.
That's very important because, you know, sometimes they are kind of slow, but it kept me, honestly, in the edge of my seat.
Wonderful.
Despite it's not my genre.
Yes.
But I relate as a mother to Sarah so much.
Yes.
So to become Sarah was very important to become a mother before shaping Sarah.
Absolutely. I think Sarah, you know, that responsibility she feels towards Miles and that sense of the weight she feels of needing to be his guardian and his kind of liaison out into the world is deep and intense. But I don't think it's dissimilar from what many parents feel. The intensity of responsibility for their child's welfare and protecting them and being their advocate. And I think what she's experiencing is really something that's familiar to a lot of parents, but it's just amplified, obviously, right from when Miles starts behaving in the way that he behaves.
Exactly, because Sarah's journey is kind of how far would you go?
Yeah, exactly. That I think that is the question. And I mean, the first time I read the script, by the time I got to the end, I was so shocked by how far she went and what the choices that she was willing to make to protect her son, but also not surprised by it. And I feel like it is something that, I mean, and you can tell me in seeing the movie, it makes sense. You kind of feel for her. She's strong. She's a real warrior, and it doesn't matter what other people think. She's really willing to stand by her beliefs and do whatever it takes to protect her child.
Yeah, something very enjoyable because you go for the thrill to these kind of films, you know, and for the excitement and the roller coaster feelings, but when you also can relate to a part is great. And also in horror films, I think women play a very important role.
Yes.
If you think from The Exorcist, all this, The Conjuring or Annabelle.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, and I think that what's so important here is that Sarah's a fighter, and it's watching how she's reacting to essentially losing a child. It feels like she's losing Miles to this. She doesn't know what's wrong with him, but what she's willing to do to bring him back. And she's a warrior.
Talking about reaction, you know, a lot of acting is reacting, and it's very important, your co-star, you know. So how was your experience working? Just because he's so young, you think of, well, he doesn't have, you know, that much experience.
Yes.
But I think he was amazing.
He's amazing, and I agree with you. I think he's stunning. He's so beautiful. Jackson is so beautiful in this movie, and I was so blown away by his talent and the ease and fluidity with which he moved from playing and having a good time and being a kid on a set. And, you know, he's such an incredible imagination, and we'd play the most interesting, funny games that he'd make up. And then instantaneously he'd shift over to doing his work and being Miles. And it was amazing to watch and to work with, because it was inspiring how there's so little attachment to what he was doing. He just was playing, you know, he was just having a good time.
How do you compare working on a film versus working on TV series that you have the opportunity to, you know, to give life longer to a character? So what do you like and from one versus the other one?
I think that there's actually, to have a beginning, middle, and end to a character, as in, you know, the format in a film or the format in a play, it's actually a lot, for me, it's a lot easier to shape a performance and just to dive very deeply into someone. You can make a lot of very clear choices. I guess that's what I would say. When there's a beginning, middle, and end, you can make very clear choices, and that feels satisfying. I mean, that's fun for me as an actor, to kind of and then you can really be open in the moment and play. Whereas with TV, there's not a lot of information, and things change so rapidly. You learn different things about the character that it almost feels like you're kind of grasping onto straws a little bit more. So it's conversely, there's a little less freedom with the structure. Does that make sense? The structure in a film kind of gives you a little bit more freedom, whereas the not knowing in TV means you kind of have to stick to the script a little bit more. But they're both very fun. I mean, they're both really enjoyable.
And besides acting, which other discipline interests you in filmmaking? Would you ever consider directing an episode? I see so many actors when they do
directing an episode. I'm really someday. I don't know that right now isn't something that is immediately interesting to me, but certainly someday I can imagine. But what I find to be, I'm very interested in producing right now and amplifying other people's voices. There's so many interesting storytellers right now, and so many women who have so much talent and are so ready to share really valuable, relevant stories. So I think a lot about producing, and I'm working on it a little bit, so that's fun.
And for the Prodigy, what do you think audiences should expect from the Prodigy?
I have not seen an ending like this in many films, and I think that you really get to know some fascinating characters. I think Miles is, of course, an interesting kid, and we've seen that, sort of the demon child archetype, but his relationship with his mother and where he goes with Sarah is something that I think is very new and is terrifying. I mean, the movie's very scary, so if you want to be scared, it's an exciting thing to see. It's thought-provoking and scary.
Did you have any moment of a scary moment in the set while shooting? Or?
There were a couple. I mean, particularly towards the end of shooting, when there, that's kind of the work as an actor, is to sort of put the puzzle pieces together so you're experiencing what's happening in the moment. And it was scary. I mean, it was scary. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.